Good day, everyone. Welcome to our class English 113 Teaching and Assessment of Grammar. Hello, I am Rika Joy D. CAPORAL, your reporter for today. This video tackles the chapter Sources of Text, Lesson 5, using genre analysis to teach reporting language, intermediate. The learning objectives of this chapter are to enhance knowledge in terms of using genre analysis to teaching reporting language, intermediate, to identify a genre analysis approach, and to ensure that the students will have a clear grasp of what the texts are all about. Language is context sensitive, as we have seen. To understand language, we need to have some knowledge of its context. Context can also determine the kind of language that is used. For example, a request for a loan will be worded differently if it is made to a friend rather than to a bank manager. The study of the ways in which social contexts impact upon choices is called genre analysis. A genre is a type of text whose overall structure and whose grammatical and lexical features have been determined by the contexts in which it is used and which over time have become institutionalized. Step 1. The teacher dictates the following words to the class and explains that they are the key words in a news story. The students are encouraged to ask about the meaning of any unfamiliar words and then, in pairs, to try to imagine what the story is about. Monkey, zoo, enclosure, vandals, sighting, 12, escaped, missing, attacked, loose, children's, Thursday, spokesman, staff, says, night. Step 2. Having elicited some of the students' prediction, the teacher presents the following authentic texts to the class and establishes that they are separate news bulletins taken at different times from an internet website, TVNZ website. She asks the students to try to put the three texts in the probable chronological order in which they appeared. A. Today's news concern for missing monkey. Staff at the New Plymouth Zoo say they are becoming concerned about the safety of missing monkey. The capuchin monkey escaped from the Brooklands Children's Zoo on Thursday night after vandals attacked its enclosure. Zoo spokesman Anthony Jones says staff say they are particularly worried the monkey might eat something poisonous. B. Today's news. Sighting of missing monkey. There has been a sighting of the monkey missing from a New Plymouth Zoo. 12 capuchin monkeys escaped from the Brooklands Children's Zoo after vandals attacked their enclosure on Thursday night. All but one have been recaptured. Zoo spokesman Anthony Jones says the monkey was seen near the zoo yesterday. He says as soon as there is another sighting, a team will head into the bush to search for it. C. Today's news. Monkey still on the loose. The hunt continues in New Plymouth for a monkey missing from a zoo. The capuchin monkey has been on the loose since vandals attacked its enclosure at the Brooklands Children's Zoo on Thursday night. All 12 monkeys in the enclosure got out, but zoo staff managed to catch 11 yesterday. Zoo spokesman Anthony Jones says the monkey will be able to survive on leaves, berries, and bark, but it will be getting lonely. Step 3. The teacher checks this task, drawing attention to clues in the text. For example, the use of the indefinite article in a monkey in the first sentence of texts A and C suggests that it predates references to the monkey in text B. The greater concern for the monkey's well-being in text A suggests that it follows text C, and in fact, the actual order is C, A, B. Step 4. The teacher then asks the students to use the evidence of all three texts to generalize the function of each paragraph. These functions are summarized briefly as being Paragraph 1. to report the current situation or most recent event. In other words, the update. Paragraph 2, to sketch the background to the story. Paragraph 3, to report an insider's viewpoint. Step 5. The teacher asks learners to use the evidence of all three texts to identify the language features of each paragraph. Again, this can be summarized as update, present tenses, either present simple, continuous, or perfect. Background, mainly past simple. Viewpoint, indirect speech, modal verbs like will and might. Step 6. The teacher asks learners to imagine the outcome of the story and to write the fourth and final news bulletin. They are reminded to use the pattern update, background, viewpoint, and to choose their tenses accordingly. Students work in groups. One group doing this activity produced the following story. Joy for monkeys capture. Staff at the New Plymouth Zoo have been able to catch the monkey missing. This monkey was on the loose because some vandals attacked the monkey's enclosure on Thursday night. 11 of the 12 which escaped could be caught quickly. Zoo spokesman Anthony Jones says staff is very happy and he thanks citizens for their help. He hopes it never happens again. Step 7. The teacher supplies students with the final story as actually reported. Today's news. Escaped monkey shot dead. The monkey that has been on the loose in New Plymouth for 5 days has been shot dead. The capuchin monkey was the last of 12 which escaped after vandals attacked an enclosure at Brooklyn's Children's Zoo. Zoo spokesman Anthony Jones says the monkey was spotted in nearby Pukikura Park and a bid was made to try to coax it to take food laced with sedatives. However, he says it became clear the monkey had no intention of going near staff and it was decided to shoot it. Discussion. A genre is a text type whose features have become conventionalized over time. A sports commentary, an email message, a political speech, and as in the text we have just been looking at, an internet news bulletin are all examples of different genres. Instances of a genre share common characteristics, such as their overall organization, their degree of formality, and their grammatical features. These characteristics distinguish them from other genres. A genre analysis approach not only respects the integrity of the whole text but regards the features of a text as being directly influenced by its communicative function and its context of use. Thus, the way the text is organized and the way choices are made at the level of grammar and vocabulary will be determined by such factors as the relationship between speaker and listener, or reader and writer. The topic, medium, example given, spoken or written, and the purpose of the exchange. For example, the monkey text would take a different form if it were a phone conversation between the zoo owners and the police reporting the incident. The implication of it, a genre analysis approach, is that grammatical choices are not arbitrary but are dependent on higher order decisions. Example given, the kind of text, the audience, the topic. Whereas traditionally it has been the custom to teach grammar independently of its context of use. A genre analysis approach sees grammar as subservient to the text and its social function. It is therefore best taught and practiced as just another feature of that kind of text. As in all text-based presentation, it is essential that students have a clear grasp of what the texts are about. The prediction task, step 1, and the ordering task, Steps 2 and 3 are means to this end. In this instance, getting the right order is of less importance than the fact that the task forces students to attend very closely to meaning. The advantage of having several examples of this particular genre allows the teacher to guide the students discovering its generic features, steps 4 and 5, including such grammar items as the use of present tenses, past simple, and modality. These grammatical features are treated not as ends in themselves, but as choices determined by the nature of the genre. It is important, therefore, to relate them to the function of each paragraph and to show how each paragraph relates to the overall function of the text. In other words, breaking news. This is why the text begins not with the background but with the update. This in turn determines the use of present tenses in the first sentence. Step 6 provides students with an opportunity to apply these features in the construction of a whole text. They can also mine the previous 3 texts for other generic features. The E factor. Because a genre analysis approach a text-level view of language, it takes on board many more features than simply grammatical ones, and this suggests that it is very economical. However, there is a danger that the lesson can turn into all analysis and no synthesis. That is, too much time can be spent identifying and explaining features of the text that no time is left to use these discoveries to create new texts. Also, it is not always easy to find texts that are both representative of a genre and also at a level accessible to any but advanced learners. The efficacy of such an approach will depend on how easily text features can be pulled out of their contexts and highlighted. Where there is more than one example of a genre, as in the sample lesson above. This is much easier since all the teacher has to do is to ask the learners to compare the texts and find features that they have in common. The A factor, where learners' needs can be fairly accurately predicted. A genre analysis approach will probably be very useful, especially for preparing them for formal genres such as business presentations or academic essays. General English students, especially at lower levels, may find the amount of language data overwhelming and hence find it difficult to see the wood for the trees. They may also find it somewhat contrived to be producing examples of genres that are, like news bulletins, fairly specialized. Nevertheless, it could be argued that even if students never have to produce texts such as news bulletins, the exercise of writing one will make them better readers of such texts, and by paying greater attention to the overall structure and function of texts in general, they will become better writers. Looking ahead, no single method of grammar presentation is going to be appropriate for all grammar items, nor for all learners, nor for all learning contexts. A lot will also depend on the kind of practice opportunities that the teacher provides. In the next chapter, we will look at a range of practice types.